Welcome to GRiPOFlow. TLS certificates are essential for keeping websites, APIs, and digital services secure. But every certificate has an expiration date. If it expires without being renewed, users may see security warnings, HTTPS connections can fail, APIs can stop communicating, and critical services can become unavailable. Modern enterprises manage certificates across websites, APIs, cloud applications, internal services, Kubernetes clusters, load balancers, VPNs, microservices, staging environments, and other critical infrastructure. As your infrastructure grows, manually tracking all these certificates becomes time-consuming and easy to overlook. That's why enterprises need automated TLS certificate monitoring to identify certificates that are approaching expiration and take action before they become a problem. This is where GRiPO can help. With GRiPOFlow, we can automate TLS certificate monitoring through a workflow that checks the certificate, calculates the remaining validity period, and sends an alert when it approaches expiration. In this tutorial, we'll solve the TLS certificate monitoring problem by creating an automated workflow in GRiPOFlow. Let's get started by creating our workflow. We'll begin by opening the Workflows module and creating a new workflow. Here, we'll enter the basic workflow information, including the workflow name, description, max retries, and tags. For the trigger type, we'll select On Demand. Next, we'll configure the workflow variables. Here, we can add a variable name and its corresponding value. We can add more than one by clicking Add Variable and entering the required name and value for each variable. Once all the required variables have been added, we'll click Create to create the workflow. Now it's time to build the workflow. Next, we'll click the pluses button and select Sandbox. From the available options, we'll choose Code and then select Python as the programming language and select Sandbox. Here, we'll paste the TLS certificate checking Python script. You can find the complete script in the description below. This script connects securely to the target website and retrieves its TLS certificate. It then checks the certificate's expiration date and calculates how many days are remaining. If fewer than 100 days remain, the script returns a warning status. Otherwise, the certificate is considered valid and does not require immediate attention. Once the sandbox activity is configured, we'll click the plus button to add the next activity. From the core section, we'll select If H Else. We'll enter the left value, select String as the data type, choose Contains as the operation, and enter Warning as the right value. Then, we'll click Add Condition. Once the condition is added, we can review the configured condition details. We'll click Create If-Else node to add this condition to our workflow. As you can see, it creates two separate branches. The Yes branch is followed when the condition is true, meaning the certificate status contains warning and requires attention. The No branch is followed when the condition is false, meaning the certificate does not currently require an alert. Now, we'll continue from the Yes branch. Since the Yes condition means that the TLS certificate requires attention, we'll click the pluses button on the Yes branch to add the next activity. From the Select Application window, we'll choose Email. This opens the new email event configuration panel, where we can set up the certificate expiry notification. First, we'll select the required email connection. Next, we'll enter the recipient email and click Add to add the recipient to the notification list. Then, we'll enter the sender email and define the email subject. For the email format, we'll keep text selected. Finally, we'll enter the email message containing the TLS certificate expiry alert and the recommended action to renew or replace the certificate before it expires. This is the custom variable that allows us to get the output from the previous activity and pass it to this email activity, so we can send that output in the email. For more information on custom variables, refer to the docs.gripoflow.gripo.io. Once all the required email details are configured, we'll click Submit. In this example, we've built an on-demand workflow that runs when manually triggered. GRiPOFlow also allows you to create scheduled workflows that can run automatically and send reports at a defined time. We'll cover this in our next tutorial. Now, click Save and then Run to execute the workflow. As the workflow runs, each activity is executed in sequence. The green check marks indicate that each step has been completed successfully, Once the execution is complete, GRiPOFlow automatically processes the certificate information and sends the TLS certificate expiry alert directly to the specified email address. As you can see, the alert has been delivered successfully, providing the team with the certificate details and enough time to take action before it expires and causing disruption to the services. With GRiPOFlow, you can automate certificate monitoring and other security workflows in a secure, isolated environment using sandboxes. Try GRiPOFlow today and automate your security workflows with confidence. Make sure to subscribe, press the bell icon, and stay updated. Thanks for watching.